Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Wheeler and this is my vlog. This is my very first vlog. I've been asked to do a vlog and I thought I would do one today because yesterday I lost my job. It's been a very stressful job to do. I really wanted to be a building and construction tutor for the organisation that I was working for, but they terminated my contract yesterday. Yes, I am finding it very, very hard to actually come to grips with that. I don't know that I necessarily have fully understood the consequences of what's taken place, and therefore if I seem a little bit out, there's a good reason for it. Look, I think I really love teaching, and I really love teaching carpentry, woodwork, and I wanted to be able to do that job really well. I was working with 15 to 19-year-old kids really that had not gone through the school system and been successful, and so I was getting a lot of the much harder individuals to manage. I was also sort of in a situation where I'd never delivered the building and construction certificate for level 2 in New Zealand, so it was all new to me, plus I was dealing with the fact that I was just stepping into the job and didn't have prep time, so there were a lot of things that were going on for me. It probably wasn't the right job for me, which is why they have terminated my contract. What does that mean for the future? Well, really what it means is I have to come to the realization, I think I need to take this on board as I was not right to teach kids of that nature and of that age. That teaching for me is probably going to be more around teaching adults, and that's where my training is in. That's my area and expertise. I don't actually have a formal trade certificate. I just have a teaching certificate and a bachelor's degree. There are lots of things that sort of contributed to this issue. I think the fact that I was dealing with new content, the fact that the content itself, not stuff that I had a chance to really read through and understand fully, part of the issue, and a lot of the assessments I found were weren't relevant to the content material, or there were errors in the assessment, and just trying to wade through all of that. I did find that I think the rationale for me not being a good fit was that they're not acknowledging that there were issues with the course material and the assessments, not acknowledging that the students weren't actually putting the time in and the effort and able to perform at the standard they needed to perform at. It wasn't really an issue in terms of me putting in enough work. I worked harder than anybody else there. That was just a fact. I worked more hours than anybody else. I put in a lot of effort. I was trying to do things that nobody else had actually attempted to do. I was doing things in a different way. I wasn't turning it into a classroom. I was trying to approach it like a job, so that they were stepping in and their training was more like a job. That's really what I wanted. But for the future, I now have to find a job. I have to pay the bills. I'm now contemplating whether I do something like Patreon. I don't honestly know if that's the right thing for me. I don't want to turn my hobby into a job. But my options are to start looking for work. There are a couple of jobs that I could apply for, but I know that I'm going to compete with hundreds, thousands of other people applying for the same job. So I'm really worried about that. And the reality is, I can get a job. I just don't want to go back to retail selling stuff to people in a hardware store, which I know I can get a job. I know I can go back to the job I was doing. A lot of people are in the same situation. They lose their job, they've got to go and do a job they don't really enjoy. It's a common occurrence, right? But yes, I'm really having to think very hard about that and what I do with my future here. I don't really want to say anything else. I'm not going to say all the things you normally say at the end of a video, because I don't really think this vlog is actually sort of designed to be like that, and I don't really want it to be that. But I'm just going to say, look, that's what's happening for me right now, and I will hopefully catch up with you some other time, and I'll see you later.